Well, hello there, internet. You may be wondering, Cassie, what's up with your hair? And the answer is I'm dyeing it again. I'm just putting purple fudge in the end, okay? I needed some more color again. So today is the 14th because I've been real lazy with recording. But Monday was the 12th of November. I wrote 1009 words, taking Nano's count up to 18,588 and the books total to 33,784. And then yesterday, the 13th of November, I wrote 1,949 words, bringing Nano's total up to 20,537 and the books total up to 35,733. I technically finished, Block 2, Chapter 6. I'm not happy with Chapter 6. It was pretty much just like characters conversing about what I was planning to do and putting down some back work, which is fine, but it's not great. That's something though that I'm planning to fix in revision, and I'll do in revision, and I just need to move along and maybe come back to it another day. I've started Block 3, Chapter 7, and that's done, I think. No, that's halfway through. We're done. I don't know. It was pretty much the lead up to a character having to leave the castle. And whereas before I hadn't really had a plan, I was just like, these two characters will be out of the way and these two characters will be leaving the castle and then get hunted down. I've made it so much more exciting and dramatic and I'm so happy. Now I have to kill one of those characters. And then the next chapter is my main character putting all of our plans into action and being like, right, we're fucking committed to this now. We're doing this. I'm letting you guys all know, and getting interrogated. And then the next chapter is her fucking some shit up and killing a lot of people and also nearly dying herself and running away on a horse. I did have the issue, like, while I was writing, I was like, well, I need these like evil guys to be souped up. That's easy to do. But how can I have these two characters like be in peril, and how can I have like this one like lose her horse and nearly get caught until she's saved? And I was like, oh, you can't run horses for hours on end off a trail without a horse like getting hurt or something. Like, the horse is gonna get winded. It can't just run for hours and hours and hours because it's a horse. So some of them probably can because they're wild, but like, it's a living being, it's not a car. So that helped. Also, the other character that got caught and is about to get killed, here I was like, well, let's face it, we could just kill the horse. How do we make it more dramatic? She was only 200 meters away from being saved if she took a right turn, and that would be hilarious. So that's real fun. I've made plans for after I finish this draft. My plan is I'm going to finish this draft. Then I am going to sit down with, at this stage, 3 books that I really like, that 2 of them from memory are third limited, and another one, I can't remember if it's third limited or first person, honestly. I'm going to sit down with them. I'm going to buy highlighters for them. I have a shitty copy of one and a pretty copy of it. The other one I will just use and I'll get a pretty copy of later. And the other one, I am waiting to get the hardcovers of all of them. But I only have the first book. But like, I love all 3 stories and I love how they're all written. So I'm going to like sit down with a highlighter and a pen, and I am going to read through the books and I'm going to study the craft of what I like about the third person in those books. Because I know my learning style and I could read and be like, oh yeah, that's what third person is. And I have studied a lot, like watched and read a lot of things about craft, but actually reading it and enjoying a material that does what it is, I can see the plot, the holes in it that I don't like and the things that I do like, and then come back for my first revision and do it. Also realized more of how this works in the timeline of my world with my 2 historic ones. I've always had like, the other one was the first baby that I found out of the sort of historic fantasies, but it is definitely more of a YA. For some reason I was like, only royals have magic, and it didn't make sense and I didn't actually like it. But because I've introduced a type of magic in this story and it's been bestowed upon a royal line by the end of it, that means I can continue that royal line and have it like back up 100, 200 years in the future from there. I already have things that like are pretty shitty in that one that I'm like, oh, I wish I could like give them hot water, but I can't do that, but I could do it in that one and change it around that way. That is like, and I've introduced elements in this book that kind of connect to that book that I'm like, oh, that is totally my next book. I'm totally writing that next. That feels right. I have all those characters named in a certain fashion and I love them, and it's also magic in it. In writing this, I'm getting a better idea of like how to craft that, if that makes sense. The clothing of that book is also more modern than this book. And one of the characters, I have a whole wardrobe in my head because she has a very, very different wardrobe. The thing I didn't realize, in my head and in my little world, obviously witches and wizards have familiars, but I never put like a name on them. I was just like, oh yeah, of course. Like in the future one that I have about magic, she is a cat familiar. And I'm like, that works. I realized in this one, her familiar is her horse. And in the next one, her familiar is a crow. And it's always been a crow. I love Mr. Crow. I've been obsessed with him for a while now. But I didn't have a way to like work it out well. Now I'm working it out well. Now I'm happy. So I'm just torn on if I'll probably end up doubling into that book in my gap after I finish this. And then I'll just like study craft and listen to audiobooks. And then head straight back into revising this one. But it's just like, I'm so impatient because I want to finish it so fast. And tonight I have a date with my mother where we're going to Spotlight to buy sewing things because we love sewing things. Hello, wall of fabric. I might write after my shower, I might not. I know I was meant to be writing beforehand, but like then I decided to dye my hair and record a video talking to myself. Oh, I just realized I don't know if the video went live, so I set it to upload and then I keep forgetting to check if the video actually loaded, and like I haven't got any notifications of anything. So it uploaded, it was private. I had the issue last week where I had way too much footage and some of it was repetitive and stupid. So I don't know if I'll be filming every day this week. Also, I am in the craft. I really want to write the next bits. Like, this is the only book that I have that the middle is the most exciting and delicious part for me. I don't know why. It's not even that it started in the wrong spot, because I quite like where it starts and I like the second half of Act 1, and I couldn't start it earlier because it wouldn't make sense. It would throw you into the chaos, but you wouldn't get an idea of anything. Who knows, I could fucking change that. It was gonna be like over a week or two and now it's over like 3 days. And then now I'm just like, I want this one to start. I feel like the war is gonna start earlier than I planned. I feel like there's gonna be more fighting than I planned. But I am so excited to get into this second half. I'm so happy I'm in block 2 officially, and let the overriding begin, because a couple of these block 2 chapters definitely should be 2 chapters. I like put line marks, just a heap of underscores, breaks in between which ones are different scenes so that I visually know, but it's gonna be, I'm trying to. Okay, I'm gonna go wash my hair and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. This is what color it turned out being. So yeah, it's pretty purple. It's got pink. It's like an ashy purple. That's not why you're here. Friday the 16th, and I don't remember when I last spoke to you, although I have a feeling it was Wednesday. Anyway, Wednesday, because I went on the Spotlight date with my mother, I wrote 20 words. It was great. They were really insightful 20 words that I totally didn't write just so I could say I've written every day this month. And then yesterday, the 15th, I wrote 2,647 words, which takes me up to 23,204 words, or 38,400 words. And that's a lot of words. I'm also currently working on chapter 8. It's almost done. Doesn't have far to go, really. I'm kind of like in the sweet spot of where I just want to write and write and write and write and write and write. Something occurred to me like a few nights ago that I was able to put in there with like, just like having 2 characters sharing their loss. It's great. It's definitely going to be edited by the time I edit, because I'm still playing with voice and how to do that and what perspectives I want to use. But I like it. I realized that this year I am amazingly not as competitive as I have been previous years. It could be because I didn't win last year. And I still do have a little bit of like my competitive heart that I want to be on word count, but thankfully hardly any of my buddies are, or they're at about the same word count as I am. The only issue with that is one woman, I think a woman, in my area on like day it would have been like day 10 or something. I noticed she'd written 50,000 words and I was like, bitch, how? Also, congratulations congratulations, you did really well. But also, bitch, how? Very alarming. But yeah, generally every year I'm sitting here like, I have to beat everyone, I have to have the best word count ever, it has to be amazing. And this year, I'm just moseying along. As long as I'm less than a day behind or a day behind, I'm fine. When I get more than a day behind, I get a bit jittery. Don't know how much I'm gonna write tonight because I have to make a birthday cake and I have to make dinner. And then tomorrow we're going to see the other half's mother and apparently stay the night or something. And I don't know what I'm doing. I just get told things and I attend places. The only thing that's really on my mind right now is I want to rant about male arrogance. And I may be able to put some of that in my writing because I've got a rather arrogant male. So I'll put that in. But just like, I think working with men all day, every day and dealing with all different types of them both make me like appreciate them as a gender and scorn them and want to turn into a man-hating lesbian. But then it would like not align with anything else, just my annoyance because they're annoying. But I got it out, so I'm going by. Hi internet, it's Saturday the 17th of November and I kind of want to talk to you about a few things that I've had on my mind because I've had the night to like think over them and because I've been writing so far. So I've done 2 half-hour word sprints in the last hour and I have written 2,000 words in an hour. I'm real happy with that considering I've had like 2,000 word days, but then when I think about it, I only sat and wrote for an hour or a couple of hours. I've realized the thing that I need when writing is a little bit of discipline. I've been noticing like around the nano community of a lot of the creators that I've been watching with their daily vlogs, like we've all been struggling a bit with like feeling like we should be more productive and also wanting the quality of words to be there, but also feeling like doing this thing is gonna help me feel productive, but I feel real guilty about it. Like I think it's Phoebe Woods writes, her thing has been mood boards. And I've never thought about starting a mood board because visually I like having like the names and quotes around me on my desk. I don't necessarily like get inspiration from pictures when I look at them, but I do probably like once a week when I'm writing go on Pinterest and just randomly pin a lot of stuff that's related to stories, if it's dresses or characters or stuff. Another thing I've been struggling with is I keep like, I'll go on YouTube and I'll binge YouTube videos, but I'll also go on YouTube to look for different and new music or move around Google Music just to see if there's any new songs that I like or anything, because for me, the thing that really helps and inspires me is music. In some stories, like one story I have, it's just like a heap of 2000s emo and punk songs and pop punk songs. Just like anything angsty works with that story. With this one, it tends to be like a bit more poppy or a bit more electric sounding, but real upbeat and I'm gonna fucking beat you sort of music. Like there's some things that are a bit angsty and a bit sad, but I haven't really channeled that. So far it's just been like shit like Woman Like Me by Little Mix. I don't know why that song speaks to the story, but it does. I kind of do because she's kind of a boss ass bitch. But that's, and a lot of the music that like people have written for LOL, League of Legends, has been speaking to me for the song as well. And every now and again I feel like kind of guilty because I'm sitting here for an hour looking at all these songs, but I'm not going to do it for the next couple of days because I'm going to get the couple of new songs that I need in the playlist or find that song that I need right now and add it to the playlist. And then when certain scenes happen, if I'm sitting there and I'm in a rut and I'm just like, I can't get into this, I'll put on that song. Even while I'm like driving for work, I'll put it on and then instantly things start to happen in my brain. And I'm like, oh, that's right. It's not that like every time I listen to music, I don't think about writing, but it helps. It helps like engage my creativity. Somehow I manage to either I'll like draw on the lyrics or it's just completely background. I can even read while listening to music. Music's just a thing for me that's like around my life a lot. And sometimes it can be very distracting, but never when writing for some reason. I don't know. And when I think back to it, like when I was like 14 and really getting into like Paramore and shit, some of those songs are really tied to books that I was reading at that time. Like some songs I'll listen to and I'm like, this just reminds me of Patricia Cornwell. Like it just reminds me of the Scarpetta series. Or there's a couple where I'll be like, I remember listening to this while we were in Twilight. Like those were the days. It doesn't happen often. And some songs just remind me of story. I've had to like allow myself to do that and know when I'm just procrastinating when doing it. When I'm like having too hard of a time to write, or I get just too into looking at it and it's been an hour And word sprints have been helping me with like staying rigorous, because I am the least competitive I have ever been with NaNoWriMo. And I don't actually care about how much I write in the word sprints, but for some reason, having a clock counting down how long I'm writing is just something that propels me. It's also that one thing that I can be like, oh, I should go on Twitter and do that thing, or I should go back to YouTube because I have a notification. And then I'm just like, wait, no, there is currently a clock going. You have to finish this word sprint. It helps me be a bit more controlled than what the usual mess of me is. If anything, the fact that the word sprints end is kind of annoying. But if they go on for too long, I start to get bored and I forget there's a timer and then I do things. It also helps that I'm like in a real good part of the story. But I'm finding between forcibly putting on music and stopping myself from watching YouTube and forcing myself to go to the word sprints and click that it's happening. I have the little guy say it's over, but I'm trying not to stop straight away when it's over. Like I don't just stop and go, whew, I wonder how many words I wrote. I'll continue on the sentence or paragraph if I'm really inspired, and then I'll stop it and update it and start it again. I'll have my little time of procrastination and other things so I can like fill up my brain again a little bit. It's just like, I don't know, it's kind of like a short-term goal rather than being like, I need to write 50,000 words this month and I need to beat everyone and it's going to be spectacular. It's more of a, I'm going to write for the next 15 minutes straight and nothing's going to distract me, and somehow that's a easily obtained short-term goal. It's great and it's helping. This is about it. But it's like kind of the thought to me, it's almost like working smarter, not harder. Because yeah, I could sit down for an hour and not procrastinate or look at music and then just try and force myself to write. But then I'm not enjoying it. And I probably won't write as many words as when I have like music playing and a time crunch sitting there because I'm not inspired to. And not that you should always write when you're inspired, but those help like trick my brain to being like, okay, we have to write. Whereas when I'm doing that, I'm just kind of like, I'll write a sentence here. I'm gonna reread something. I'm gonna edit something. It's just like trying to control the ways that I know I take myself off track. And I'm more interested in like coloring in my chapters and acts and saying they're done than I am in doing the word count, because I know I can write 50,000 words and have a shit novel. My goal's more to finish the novel than it is to write 50,000 words. Like, I'm behind on my word count, but I have written every day except for one day was 20 words. But I've written something, which is what's keeping me there. And the need to finish and have a proper, like, sticking to the plot is stronger for me this year than any word count will ever be. I think I've just done Nano for so long. I think this is like my 6th or 7th year. And like, I've done it for long enough now that like, I know I can win. I know I lost last year and that's just because I didn't have the drive or the practiceness of it. I was very distracted and yeah. I'm just excited to see when I finish this book. God damn it. I just finished chapter 8. Now I'm on to chapter 9 and then I'll be on to block 3. And then once block 3 is done, I can move on to act 2. Wait, I'm in block 3. Is my thing? Oh, I have to go check because I'm pretty sure that this is meant to be block 3. If I'm on chapter 8, then I'm in block 3. How? I'm gonna go and work this out. Okay, bye. This is much later, but it turns out I was on block 3 and I was where I thought I was, I think. Now I'm no longer working on block 3 because I finished act 1 and I finally hit the target for the day. Like, I'm on 28,300 and something words and the target's 28,333 words and I have more than that, 350 something. I don't know. I'm just happy that I'm on act 2. Oh god. I had to miss a little bit. Like, there was like this action-packed bit that I was like, oh, I need to write that, but I don't feel like writing that. It's just 2 paragraphs, it would have been. I put a reminder of what to write there and then wrote the aftermath of it, which was so much fun. It's gonna need to be rewritten, but I love it. I feel like I use way too much passive voice, but that doesn't matter. I'm going to go start act 2. So I set this up so I could record a video of me playing with this toy sewing machine, reviewing it for mine and my mum's channel. And spoiler alert, just buy a kid a sewing machine, it's better. But it's Sunday the 18th and I should tell you about yesterday because yesterday was fan-fucking-tastic. I'm allowed to swear on my channel. This is what my lovely graph looks like. I mean, look at that. Look at that. Yesterday, I hit my stride. I wrote 5,105 words. amount of words I've written so far this month, taking my nano word count up to 28,624 and the novel word count up to 43,820. To be fair, I have like moved all the scrap out of Act 1 because I finished Act 1, and now Act 1 so far has 26,206 words, which isn't too bad, I think. Yesterday was just doing exactly what I thought I would do when I got to those chapters of just lots of writing and continuing to write and then writing some more. And now I'm up to Act 2, which I'm so excited for, but I'm also kind of procrastinating. And yesterday was just the day that I hit my stride, really. I think we all have like that one day where it just magically happens, and sometimes you get a couple of those in a month. Not always, not always. Hopefully today will be another one of those so that I can stay on track, because yesterday was the first day I actually caught up on my workout. I'm behind again today, but if I write today's minimum amount of words, I'll be back on track, it's fine. Yeah, that's really all. I'm gonna go right. Hi internet, it's Monday, but I'm going to tell you the information from Sunday because that's how I do it, okay? I just wrap up the day before, whatever. So yesterday was the 18th of November, very pleasing to write, 18/11/18, for everyone that isn't American, I should say. Yesterday, I had a ripper of a weekend. Yesterday I wrote 2,793 words, taking me up to 31,417 words for Nano, and 46,618 words for the actual manuscript. There you go, you can see things, you can see things. Because I've gotten so far, I'll put up like graphs and stuff. Hopefully everything fits on this side of the screen beside the messy bookcase and the webbing I still haven't taken down, but we'll see, we'll see. I'm so excited. I did a little bit of reworking in Scrivener, and now I have a check button for my completes when I go onto the page with all of my... I ended up, because I finished Act 1, I've moved everything that I've scrapped from Act 1 into another folder named Scrapped. You might be able to see it. And that takes my Act 1 up to 26,000 words or something. I'm just excited to start working on Act 2 now. This first chapter's probably been the hardest, purely because I'm kind of setting the tone and giving a break between the first act and second act, and like dealing with some consequences of stuff that happened in the last chapter of the first act. Otherwise, I think once I sort that out, like this next block, although it is planned, is going to be me struggling with writing too much. And I'm fine with writing too much in this block, because it's getting and sorting stuff out, because the next two blocks are very exciting and are very written, whereas this is more, we get to see the camp, so it's more like, well, the new world building. We get to see more of her training style and more of her being a badass motherfucker. This is like the block of really getting to know who the protagonist is at her core, getting to know what everyone's motivations are and everything like that. And that's why I'm fine with playing around in the middle. I'm not gonna have the issue with saggy middle. If anything, I have a problem with saggy chapter fucking 10. But otherwise, everything else will be fine. I want to talk to you guys more, but I'm going to save it for next week's vlog because it occurred today, so that's why. It's a Monday. Monday's the start of the week. But yeah, how are you guys going on Nano so far? I'm going to have one hell of a time editing this because I went on a couple of rants this week. And I'll probably cut out a lot of it because some of it was real stupid, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, how are you guys doing? Is everyone like on track? Have you hit what I've hit, where magically you're finally tracking the correct numbers? Or is shit all going to hell now? Because that seems to be the way it is. Either you struggle at the start and right at the middle towards the end, you really pick up your momentum, you get it going. Or you're perfect at the start, everything's fantastic, and then it goes to shit in the middle. That happens a lot most years. I blame my mother's birthday, the 11th of November, for it generally, because like I have that one day that just like throws me out of my rhythm a lot of the times, or whatever day she decides to do something for her birthday that throws me out of my rhythm. Whereas this year I had both her birthday and my other half's birthday in the same week and managed to get more on track than I was before. Birthdays are great now. But yeah, I think it's just all like the way everyone deals with everything and what's going on in your life, and why is November so busy? At least in Australia, we don't have to deal with Thanksgiving. I'm sorry, America, but I don't know how I'd do it if I had to deal with the whole holiday. I know how I'd deal with it. I tell my parents, fuck Thanksgiving, I'm staying in front of my computer and I'm doing stuff. I would not get away with that. But I'm going to love you and leave you, and I'll talk to you guys later, and hopefully next week I'm on track too, or you can watch the try and fall off the rails. Okay, bye!